Section 1, the aging process. We will begin this module by looking at the effects of aging on the lungs. Loss of elasticity, hold less oxygen, shortness of breath, and decreased ability to clear mucus from the lungs. The maximum amount of air your lungs can hold, your total lung capacity, is about 6 liters. That is about 3 large soda bottles. Your lungs mature by the time you are about 20 to 25 years old. After about the age of 35, their function declines as you age, and as a result, breathing can slowly become more difficult over time. There are several organ systems that can affect the lungs as you get older that may cause a decline in lung capacity. Muscle and bone changes. The diaphragm, the large muscle that moves air in and out of the lungs, gets weaker, decreasing the ability to inhale and exhale. Rib cage bones become thinner and change shape, altering the rib cage so that it is less able to expand and contract while breathing. Measuring lung capacity. Spirometry is a diagnostic test that provides different measures of lung capacity. For the test, you blow into the mouthpiece of a device called a spirometer, which measures the amount of speed of air you can exhale. Often used to diagnose chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder or asthma, spirometry results are also used to see if your breathing has improved after treatment for a lung condition. Spirometry can be a useful indicator of lung age when your results are compared to the average results of other people your age. Some examples of spirometry measurements your healthcare provider will look at. Forced vital capacity, the maximum amount of air you can forcibly exhale from your lungs after fully inhaling. It is about 80% of total capacity, or 3.8 liters, because some air remains in your lungs after you exhale. Forced vital capacity can decrease by about 0.2 liters per decade, even for healthy people who have never smoked. Forced expiratory volume, the amount of air you can exhale with force in one breath. FEV1 is the amount of air you can exhale with force in 1 second. FEV1 declines 1 to 2% per year after about the age of 25, which may not sound like much, but adds up over the course of a lifetime. Lung tissue changes. Muscles and tissues that usually keep airways open lose elasticity, causing some to close. Alveoli, the small sacs where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide happens with the bloodstream, can lose their shape and become baggy. Nervous system changes. The part of the brain that controls breathing may no longer send as strong or clear a signal to the lungs. Nerves and airways that trigger coughing become less sensitive to foreign particles. When particles build up in the lungs, they can damage the lung tissue. All of these changes can cause air to get trapped, decreasing the amount of oxygen moving in and carbon monoxide moving out of the bloodstream. Some steps you can take now. Aerobic exercise. Breathing exercises. Don't smoke. Avoid airborne toxins. Prevent infection. And see your doctor regularly. Now let's look at the effects of aging on the skeletal system. Loss of bone density. Joints become less resilient and more prone to damage. Limits range of motion. Causes pain and limits movement. Bones provide mechanical and protective function while also serving as housing for marrow and a site for regulation of calcium ion homeostasis. The properties of bones do not remain constant with age. Rather, they change throughout life, in some cases improving in function, but in others, function deteriorates. Here we review the modifications in the mechanical function and shape of bones, the bone cells, the matrix they produce, and the mineral that is deposited on this matrix, while presenting recent theories about the factors leading to these changes. From about age 30, the density of bones begins to diminish in men and women. This loss of bone density accelerates in women after menopause. As a result, bones become more fragile and are more likely to break, especially in old age. As people age, their joints are affected by changes in cartilage and in connective tissue. The cartilage inside a joint becomes thinner, and components of the cartilage become altered, which may make the joint less resilient and more susceptible to damage. Thus, in some people, the surfaces of the joint do not slide as well over each other as they used to. This process may lead to osteoarthritis. Additionally, joints become stiffer because the connective tissue within ligaments and tendons becomes more rigid and brittle. This change also limits the range of motion of joints. Loss of muscle is a process that starts around age 30 and progresses throughout life. In this process, the amount of muscle tissue and the number and size of muscle fibers gradually decrease. The result of sarcopenia is a gradual loss of muscle mass and muscle strength. This mild loss of muscle strength places increased stress on certain joints, such as the knees, and may predispose a person to arthritis or falling. Fortunately, the loss of muscle mass and strength can partially be overcome or at least significantly delayed by a program of regular exercise. The types of muscle fibers are affected by aging as well. The numbers of muscle fibers that contract faster decrease much more than the number of muscle fibers that contract slower. Thus, muscles are not able to contract as quickly in old age. Some steps you can take now to help your skeletal system. Healthy diet with whole foods. Weight-bearing exercise that involves all the major muscle groups. Make sure you are getting enough calcium and vitamin D. Section 2. Habits and Principles. Sleeping well. American biologist Michael Rosbash and 2 other scientists won the Nobel Prize in Physiology of Medicine for their research on circadian rhythms. Their study led to a new field of study called chronobiology and heightened awareness about the importance of a good night's sleep. Rosbash, along with Jeffrey C. Hall and Michael W. Young, isolated a gene that controls daily sleep-wake schedules inside all living things. They also identified the proteins that activate it. Their work validated our feelings of drowsiness at night and our 3 p.m. craving for coffee or sugar with scientific fact. Their study found that there is an internal clock inside every single cell. Sleep cycles. You hit the lights, close your eyes, and boom, just like that, 8 hours of your life goes by in the wink of an eye. But in real time, it's not that simple. While we doze, our brain undergoes intense activity as it passes from stage to stage and cycle to cycle. At times, our brain is actually more active while we sleep than when we're awake. So why should you care about the science behind snoozing? Understanding your sleep cycle allows you to refine and perfect your rest. It's part of being sleep conscious. Here's exactly what happens during each sleep cycle and why it matters for your tomorrow. Sleep cycle stages. Each night, your brain goes through a series of 5 stages that make up a sleep cycle. Stage 1. This is the first phase of light sleep, when your brain and body are in limbo between wakefulness and response. During this stage, your breathing and heartbeat begin to slow as your muscle tension and core body temperature decrease. People often experience a falling sensation and twitches in stage 1, known as hypnic jerks. Stage 2. Next, your consciousness of the outside world fades as your body prepares itself for deep sleep. This lasts for about 20 minutes of the sleep cycle and accounts for roughly 50% of total sleep. In stage 2, you become increasingly relaxed as your eye movement stops, your heart rate slows, and your body temperature decreases. Bursts of electrical activity known as sleep spindles help maintain your brain's communication system, improve your memory formation, and boost your intellectual ability. Stage 3 and 4. As you fall into deep sleep, you're cut off from the outside world, unaware of outside stimuli. Stage 3 and 4, which account for about 20% of total sleep, are the most difficult stages to wake up from, and if you do wake suddenly, you'll feel disoriented. While in deep sleep, your blood pressure falls, your breathing slows, and your body temperature drops even lower. While in deep sleep, your blood pressure falls, your breathing slows, and your body temperature drops even lower. This is the restorative phase of sleep. Your body repairs tissue and strengthens your immune system. Stage 5. Rapid eye movement, or REM, begins as your body is physically paralyzed, but your brain is bursting with activity. This is when dreams occur. Stage 5 only lasts about 10 minutes in the first cycle, but it can last as long as an hour in the final one. During REM sleep, your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, and your breathing becomes irregular. This stage helps you process memories and emotions that are crucial for learning. Sleep cycles. You typically experience 3 or 4 sleep cycles per night. Which last between 45 to 90 minutes in length. Here's how they differ. Cycle 1. A short period of light sleep followed by a long period of deep sleep and a brief period of REM. Cycle 2. Light sleep and REM increase, deep sleep decreases. Cycle 3 and 4. Light sleep and REM continue to increase. Deep sleep tapers further. How to optimize your sleep cycles. Keep a consistent schedule. Stick to the same bedtime and wake time every day, including on the weekends. Keeping a consistent sleep schedule helps you regulate your body clock so you can fall asleep quicker and wake up easier. Skip the snooze. Once your body becomes familiar with a routine, it'll prepare itself to wake up during the lighter stages of sleep. But the snooze button turns this process on its head. Those extra Z's will leave you feeling more tired if the second alarm wakes you during deep sleep. Stay on track. Sleep trackers monitor movement using actigraphs to estimate total sleep time and after sleep waking. By receiving personalized insights, you can analyze your overall sleep performance and adjust your schedule accordingly. Some sleep trackers even track your sleep patterns in order to wake you up during light sleep. Next time you need to kick your cycle into gear, try calming your nighttime jitters with some passion flower tea and sleep-inducing essential oils. Night sweats. Even if you only experienced it once, you know there's nothing ordinary about night sweats. In some cases, night sweats can simply be a case of sleeping on the wrong mattress, like one that traps in body heat. But in other cases, the sweating can be caused by conditions like menopause. 2 words, hot flashes. Hormonal shifts. Hormonal shifts associated with puberty, pregnancy, and thyroid problems can leave you sleeping hotter than normal. Idiopathic hyperhidrosis. It sounds scary, but chronic sweating has no medical cause. Infections. Bacterial infections, HIV, osteomyelitis, and tuberculosis can all cause night sweats. Cancer. Some forms of the Big C include night sweats as one of the early symptoms. Obstructive sleep apnea. Snoring and restricted breathing aren't the only problems associated with sleep apnea. You're also 3 times more likely to experience night sweats. Medications. Hormone blockers and antidepressants often list night sweats as a side effect. Coping with night sweats. If you know what's causing your night sweats, try following these tips to minimize your discomfort. Switch to cooler bedding. Lighten up on the blankets and consider switching to a temperature-regulating mattress with a breathable construction. Tomorrow's mattress uses NASA-designed phase-changing material that literally pulls heat away from your body so you sleep cool. Avoid triggers. Obviously, bundling up and raising the thermostat can lead to a hot night's sleep. But did you know that some relatively common habits can lead to night sweats? Stop or cut back on habits like drinking alcohol, caffeine, or smoking, especially at night. Chill out. Battle your night sweats by creating a cool sleeping environment. Start by turning the thermostat down. The National Sleep Foundation recommends setting the temperature to somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit for a sound, comfy sleep. Create calm. The same stress and anxiety that keeps you sweating things out during the day can contribute to sweating in your sleep. Try creating a calming sleep ritual like reading, listening to music, or meditating to reduce sweat-inducing stress before bedtime. Listening to a relaxing podcast like Sleep With Me and Meditation Minis is a great way to distract yourself if your mind is running. Should you see a doctor? If you've tried everything and still wake up in a pool of sweat, you might want to schedule an appointment with your doctor. While night sweats are annoying sleep disruptions, they can also be a symptom of infection or disease. Set an alarm to go to bed. Set your phone alarm to go off 30 minutes before your bedtime. It will make it easier to stick to a schedule. People who go to sleep on time normally sleep up to an hour longer than those who don't. Little or no alcohol before bed. Alcohol may help you fall asleep, but you'll also be more likely to wake up 5 hours in. Keep your bedroom dark. Turn off all the lights and cover the buttons that glow. Use room darkening shades to keep the lights from the neighbors and the street from coming in. Turn down the temperature. The best temperature for sleeping is 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Quit caffeine at lunch. Give the caffeine time to leave your system to sleep better. Turn off electronics 1 or 2 hours before bed. Give your brain some time to settle down. Bright lights from electronics keep our brains active. Exercise daily. People who get daily exercise sleep better. Stop exercising a few hours before bed. Bed is for sleep and sex. Don't read or watch TV in bed. Get rid of noise. Use earplugs if necessary. Television or radio can interfere with your sleep rhythms. Slow down with prayer or meditation. Slow your breathing and your heart rate, and you'll fall asleep faster. Aromatherapy. Lavender and bergamot are great oils to diffuse at bedtime. Journal. Set your 30-minute alarm a little earlier and clear away the thoughts before you go to bed. Do you snore? Lose some weight. Put earplugs in if it's your partner. Nurture happiness and live with meaning. Be present. In today's fast-paced, self-reliant society, it is easy to forget that we need to be present in our lives and be open to inspiration. Prayer and meditation are both important to practice, regardless of your beliefs. You can find a way to practice that works for you. If you think about it, prayer is a conversation, maybe expressing our thanks or requests for help, while meditation is listening and being receptive. Both can be vastly beneficial in allowing us to be centered and present in our life. When we morbidly reflect on the past, it is much easier to fall into a depressive state, while when we obsessively focus on the future, it is much easier to fall into an anxious state. When we are fully present and engaged in the moment, we are much more likely to be content and at peace. Prayer and meditation helps us to become more aware when we slip out of the present moment and recenter. As you implement these into your life, you will find that you will be able to fully engage in conversations and be able to listen more intently. You will be easily able to focus on one task at a time without having other tasks or challenges on your mind. You will find your thoughts will become clearer and you will be more in touch with how you feel and what you think in the moment. Goal setting. Laying out the steps you need to take to reach your goals and keeping a journal. The more control you have over a goal, the better chance you have of attaining it. If you set the goal by the performance of the action rather than the outcome, you will be happier. For example, you might set a goal to finish a 5K, performance-based goal, rather than to score in the top 10 at the 5K, an outcome-based goal. There are several steps in goal setting. 1. Become aware of a need. 2. Envision the outcome. 3. Set the intention. 4. Focus on the goal. 5. Take action to achieve the goal. And 6. Have faith that if you set the intention, focus, and take action, you will reach your goal or the best outcome. Here is a chart to help you get started setting your goals. Remember to think both long-term and short-term. Once you have your goals set, keep a daily journal. Keep track of 5 steps that you can take now and tomorrow to get closer to your goals. 3 steps that you can take between now and tomorrow to support and encourage others. 3 to 5 steps that you took today that you did very well and will move you closer to your goals. And list some things that you feel you can do better tomorrow. And finally, the truth. Some wisdom from health coach Dave Mitchell. First, the mental aspect. You think it would have taken longer. It sounds like a clever thing you would put on a meme, but mental preparation is really important. Second, the mistake of not taking care of your body, especially flexibility. Range of motion movements cannot be overemphasized. Being buff is not a necessity, but being able to move is. Third, as much as we would like to think we are immortal and bulletproof, it's a shock when we find we are not. It rocks your entire image of how you see yourself. Fourth, better dental health. Fifth, maintaining sexual energy, regardless of the reasons: divorce, bad relationships, bad drug contraindications, whatever. We can't let that slip and go dormant. This is the one thing that keeps us viable and young. Sixth, like it or not, your time is getting short. Rather than being an observer, be a participant. TV is agenda lies and drug commercials to convince you that you are sick and to be afraid. Very little of value, and it costs $1,800 a year if you pay $150 a month. You could see the Alaskan glaciers for that on a cruise. Grab the $500 round-trip Groupon special and go to Iceland, or Prague, or Beijing, or the Galapagos, and see some stuff. Breathe it in and be alive for once in your life. Better to get it now. Seventh, people will call you crazy. Their opinion does not count. Eighth, understand that governments will always tell you who the enemies are. They are not. Go meet some people in those countries. The majority of people in the entire world are super cool and all want the same stuff as we have: toilet paper, light bulbs, and clean water. Ninth, how you act is a direct reflection of what you project. If you consistently show a masterclass in jackassery, that is what you get back. Check yourself. 10th, We get older, we learn stuff, especially stuff that does not work. We don't have to make every mistake ourselves, but often do. 11th, the greatest teachers are children. 12th, the job. You are family until you are overheard. Then they will replace you tomorrow with someone younger and cheaper. Some final thoughts from health coach Rhonda Mabel Rathert. Aging does not have to mean getting old. What I wish they'd warned me about: hair detouring to face, dry vaginas, leaking bladder, all the functions in your body, lack of hormones caused to malfunction, how to maintain intimacy when ED comes to call, farting when you sneeze, peeing when you cough. Need more? Thank you for joining us